Welcome into the postgame show, LAFC Live postgame presented by Heineken. And I had him here at halftime, and I am pleased to have him here again to join me here in the postgame. I'd say we got about 100 people hanging out here at the set too. None other than LAFC defender Steven Beitashour. Right now, that's the guy that stepped into your starting spot just over our shoulder right here. Tristan Blackman leading the shot lot. You've done that before, right?
I've done it before. It's awesome.
I mean, what an experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, scoring your first goal in MLS, it's awesome. In front of the home crowd, it's that much better.
And the best part about it is you can see the entire 32-52 sticks around. They get into it. All the team is right there. And what an honor for a young kid. This guy's just 22 years old. What an honor for this young kid. Really for any player, right?
For any player. But being a young player like that, he really, you could tell he was looking confident in training this week, and he shined tonight.
We'll talk more about Tristan Blackman here in the postgame as we have a whole bevy of topics to talk about. As I mentioned, Javrina Catalina will get some interviews for us. We'll get to her in just a little bit. Max Bretos, Christopher Sullivan, who called the match. They will join us down here a little later on here in the post-game show. I asked you about the ending, and obviously you wanted the shutout. But if you took at the bulk of it, the overall performance, especially the way this team started through the first 70 minutes, I mean, that's the way we expect you guys to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the fans were very pleased with the end result. 3 points, 4 goals for, but I think as a whole, the guys will be disappointed to give 2 late goals like that. And like any other match, we're going to look at tape, and we'll see where we can improve. Maybe guys kind of let their foot off the gas a little bit with the 4-0 lead. So we'll look at it and we'll improve.
Another great layer of it is we don't get to say underneath the Friday night lights too often here at Bank of California Stadium. Let's go to some highlights from this one. Take you all the way back to the first half. Yes, we will rock you. The 32-52, by the way, Steven, their tifos keep getting better and better. We start with the San Manuel Bingo and Casino thrill of the match. And it's Christian Ramirez. We discussed it a little bit at halftime, but not just happy to see him get his third, but happy to see maybe this is something that will get him going. Yeah,
sometimes this is all you need. You just need to see the ball go in the back of the net, and then goal scorers will get the rhythm after that. So hopefully this is it.
I was looking at the numbers. Evan Bush came in with 6 shutouts. He's definitely not going to get number 7 here tonight, because then Carlos Vela. I mean, what's this guy like when you have to face off against him in training on a daily basis? He is so good, so technical.
Well, it's great. Jordan Harvey mentioned in an interview a couple months ago that when you're going against Carlos Vela, Diego Rossi, it really prepares you for these games. You're going against 2 of the best in the league. And so when you're playing Friday Night Lights, Saturday Night Lights, you've already trained against the best in the league. So it's almost a little easier.
Goal number 15 for Vela. Goal number 1 on the year for Latif Blessing. And so he made it 3-0 heading into halftime. We go to the second half and more from LAFC as they continue to attack right here. A chance for Vela. And it goes into the back of the net, but they would call this one back. Yeah. They did not call offside on the first one, which I thought was actually a little closer to offside. The flag comes up here. Otherwise, that's number 16 for Carlos.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a makeup call, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, are they going to go to VAR and this one is going to count? But they did not. So it's still 3-0 at this point, but then that produces this moment for Tristan Blackman.
All right, we got it.
Do you remember your first?
Yes, I do.
Where was
Against Chivas USA, 3rd game of the season, my rookie year. It was awesome.
Southern California? Or?
Southern California, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What a little paradox right there, right?
We were down 3-1. I don't usually get to go up in set pieces, so it was like 89th minute. They put everyone up. I was sitting at the top of the box. Keeper punched it out. First time left-footed volley. Kind of top corner. As
the old cliche goes, you always remember your first, right? And Tristan Blackman will certainly remember tonight his first career MLS goal. Late moments in the match. Montreal slips in behind the back 4 of LAFC, and that means a point to the spot for Armando Villarreal. That was Jackson, who came on as a speedy second-half substitute for the Impact, and that would lead to this opportunity for Safir Taider. Steps up. That is his 4th goal of the season. Merely cosmetic at this point. That one comes in the 85th minute from the penalty spot to make it a 4-2 final score. So although you give away these last 2 late, you still look at the defense. This is a team that now in 15 games, you guys have only conceded 11 times through 15 games. I don't have the exact numbers, but I'm thinking that defensively you guys are feeling pretty good about what you're doing this year.
Yeah, we would have felt that much better if we got the clean sheet. But yeah, you know, we're off to a good start. Obviously, everyone talks about our offensive prowess and how well we do. And for defenders, we take pride in not giving up goals. So I know the guys are going to be disappointed. Not just the defenders, you know, Tyler, the guys in front of us, Mark, Edward, Latif. So it's definitely a team effort, and guys will be disappointed with those 2 late goals.
I think educated soccer minds talk about being really strong up the spine of the team, and that is indeed the case when you talk about Atuesta, you talk about Marc-Anthony Kaye. And if you went all the way to the top of the spine in this lineup here tonight, and we've seen it many times this season, you would find Christian Ramirez. He is our YouTubeTV man of the match and standing by with Javrina.
Christian, a very fast-paced game. How are you guys able to manage and keep control?
I think this is the tempo that we like to play, and we practice it all week, so it's fluid once we come out here and just feed off the energy of the crowd.
And what stood out to you the most from tonight's game that you guys can take over to Portland?
Just that when we're bought in and we're all pressing and we're together, it's really hard for them to find any space. And I know going up into Portland, their home opener this year, will be a tough one. But if we bring that energy and that compactness, I think we'll be tough to beat.
Perfect. Thanks and congratulations. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Gigi. We'll get more from Javrina Catalina and some player post-game sound coming up a little bit later on here in the post-game show. Again, going back to Christian Ramirez, so special. A guy that came over in a mid-season acquisition from Minnesota a year ago. He seemed to come right into the fold. But when you look at that 1-2 punch, whether it's Dio up top or Christian Ramirez up top, the way this team plays with possession, those guys don't get a lot of accolades, so it's nice to see him find the back of the net.
Yeah, it was great. We spoke about it earlier. Sometimes you see the ball go in the back of the net, so we're really happy for Christian, and hopefully he continues this trend of putting the ball in the back of the net.
It's a guy who had double-digit goals in his combined time with Minnesota and LAFC a year ago. That's his 3rd of the season. If he can get going and produce double-digit goals for LAFC, this guy is going to continue to be the limit. We're just getting things rolling here on LAFC Live Post-Game Show presented by Heineken. When we come back, we will continue the discussion. We've got some key talking points we want to discuss about tonight's 4-2 win, and we'll use Max Beitashour and Christopher Sullivan to help us get through that. More coming up on UTV in a moment. But 4-2 is your final score tonight as we bring you back into the post-game show here at the YouTubeTV set at the south end of Banc of California Stadium following the 4-2 win against the Montreal Impact. 2nd time in LAFC history that they get past Montreal. It was 5-3 up at Stade Saputo in Quebec last year. And tonight, again, a 2-goal margin as they win this one 4-2. Mark Rogandino, Steve Beitashour, Christopher Sullivan, Max Beitashour.
Hello.
Hey, you know, Steven, since we do have 3 Aztecs up here, we do have a Florida State Seminole over there. I mean, all we need is Kawhi Leonard up in here, right?
There we go.
Next year.
Toronto could be on their way. Toronto could be on their way to the NBA Finals.
They're looking good.
Yes, that's true. That's true. but I digress. We're talking football here tonight in a 4-2 win for LAFC. First, let's go to Christopher Sullivan. What stuck out on the night for you?
Well, I think that we're seeing a team that's special. You know, I know that you would have wanted to play in this game because it was high octane. They imposed themselves very early. And you see the chemistry and the nuance and intricacies, that familiarity of a team that's been playing together. And they believe in the way that they want to press. They put their opponents under pressure, and they can capitalize by scoring. Second half dropped off a little bit with some precision and a little detail. But overall, I think for the home fans, you know, it's a great display of football.
As we get into some talking points on the night here, certainly one thing that helped the cause here tonight for you guys, and Christopher just mentioned the pressing and the way that it starts all the way at the top with guys like Vela and Rossi and Ramirez and what they have to do. It forces turnovers in critical areas, and tonight it forces an early goal. A bit of a gift, as Evan Bush probably should have cleared it, but tonight it turns into his 3rd goal of the season, and that early goal opens the game up, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You want that. As far as the way we play, if you can get that early goal, they can't just sit back and put a ton of numbers in their own box, where then it's difficult to find the gap. So that definitely helped us a lot, and we made them pay.
And Christopher, that is something, as we know, that has kind of been missing a little bit for LAFC over the last month or so, is getting that early goal and really opening teams up. They did it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a Liverpool goal, really, is that high pressing. And I actually feel the trigger points, Steve, is coming from the midfield. you know, they have that carte blanche to be able to push out, and even yourself, you guys get so high, you take risks. Sometimes you're seeing a little more 360, whether it's Mark Anthony Kay or Blessing or Atuesta, where they'll go beyond the forwards to press, and then you get the whole family going together in the same zip code.
Yeah, it's all about the counter press, and Bob mentions it all the time. We work on it all the time at training, and those are classic examples. You know, even the third goal, Tristan won't get credit for intercepting that pass in the midfield, but his positioning is what Bob wants our outside backs to do. It's not just go mark one guy. He's marking the center midfielder and the winger.
Yes.
And when that ball pops free, he's there to pass the ball to Carlos. Carlos gives it to Diego. Diego gives it to Latif. So although Tristan won't get credit for that, that's what Bob wants from us, you know, to be in those good spots and always be ready to counter press.
Max, how you doing down there?
I'm great. This Aztec Love Fest really going.
I tell you what, we're going to talk about Tristan Blackman in a moment, but I do want to start with you on the end on this point, and that is Carlos Vela being Carlos Vela. We watch him on a daily basis. You're around the pulse, and you have the pulse of this team because you're there at training or games all the time. I mean, this guy is a world-class player. And Christopher, you said earlier, you know, one of the best players in this league. Max, you could say right now he is the best player in this league.
He's the best player in this league. He is the best Mexican player anywhere right now, the way he's playing. Those aren't just my words. This is the collected Mexican media. When they heard that he may not play for Mexico this summer, that's devastating. This level of form, whether it's MLS or this Premier League, is just very hard to attain, and he's reaching it. And every time you feel like the foot's coming off the pedal, he stamps on it again, and he's getting a goal every game.
It's a fantastic ball.
If this ends this way, he's getting 38 goals this season, which would
something we
shatter
work
the
on
record.
all the time.
The ball is amazing right there. I mean, the ball is spectacular. That's Atuesta, right?
And the one that got called offsides, very similar to that. It's just something that we work on continuously throughout trainings.
And I watch you guys, the patterns of play, incrementally you build with rhythm, but then you're always keeping an eye and scanning the field to find that incisive pass. I think Carlos Vela, you know, you look at Ache from Porto, who's done well, and Chucky Lozano. The difference between both, Chucky Lozano arguably is one of the top Mexican players. Vela is a leader, and he plays so gracefully. He brings the team with him, and he makes players around him better, a la Magic Johnson in that sense. And when you play on a team with a player like that, because he's unselfish, yet he finds his moments, and you want to look for those kind of players.
Yeah. But can I add something to how good he is? He's a great person.
Yes.
One of the best guys I've met on the field, off the field, just super humble, and genuinely everyone on the team loves him. He's that down to earth.
Well, and you made
that's nice.
Yeah,
No, that is
nice.
But sometimes you get superstars that
absolutely.
He's
fun to be
just
around.
another face in the crowd on this team, if you can say that.
We've heard of a lot of divas come to MLS.
Yes.
You know, Freddie Lundberg, when he was in Seattle, wanted his own masseuse, and Ziggy was like, you know, God bless him.
I would
Ziggy.
want my own masseuse.
You know, there's been a lot of stories.
Max,
You've heard them all,
Max
right?
is requesting it today.
Well, I mean, Christopher, you mentioned the Magic Johnson, a parallel to Magic Johnson, and certainly Carlos Vela has that Magic Johnson smile that puts you at ease.
Right.
Even when he commits a hard foul. We saw it a couple of games ago, and all of a sudden the referee comes up and has a smile, and Vela's like, hey, I didn't mean to get him there. And that is the standard, obviously, that players are trying to get to. One young player that certainly would love to have his name in that kind of conversation would be Tristan Blackman. He steps in to start for you tonight at the right back spot, and I thought he did a pretty good job in just his second start of the season.
I can't be too comfortable over here.
I think
he's gonna take
your
my
job
job.
is safe. Your job is safe.
He did fantastic in all of training. He looked confident. He looked excited and eager to get this opportunity. He had one in Seattle. It was only 45, so I think he was really looking forward to tonight. Playing in front of our crowd, it's different. Playing on the road and playing in front of our crowd, it's completely different, and we're really happy for him to get his first goal and celebrate in front of 3252.
And Christopher, we talked to some of the players this week before we came out, and you could sense that if this young player, just 22 years of age, if he got a little bit of confidence, you know, he was really going to play a good game here tonight, and he did.
Yeah, I think any player that's playing in a career, you're looking for one breakout moment, you know, that takes you to another level. And I mean, he's a Ferrari on the right side, so you don't need to worry. You know, like they said in Italy with Ronaldo, you take Ronaldo out, you know, on Sunday.
Ferrari
you
with
take
a busted tire right now.
Exactly. But I think decision-making, the game is a little quicker, passing precision. A few times the ubicación, like positional sense, was a little off. But overall, you know, I give him a B. Offensively in the game because he scored a goal, and I think defensively I'd say a B-, being honest. But that, to play with that team in that game, because Montreal is much better than the score reflected.
Wouldn't you agree that
that was a big goal?
And wouldn't you agree that he got forward up in the formation like Steven does?
Yeah, I think intimidation. It's the best form of flattery. What is it? Imitation?
Yes.
I messed that up.
The highest form of flattery.
Highest form of flattery. But I think you're rubbing off him a little bit, Beta. And I like that goal as well at the end because for two prongs, because of what you said. Without that goal in the second half, maybe it's 3-2 and this game ends a little differently. And the set piece opportunity to score a goal, to show another wrinkle, I think that keeps defenses honest.
We've been asking for that for quite a while, too. We've been looking for some set piece goals for LAFC. Speaking of Tristan Blackman, downstairs with Javina right now.
Thanks, Rogo. Tristan, congratulations. First goal of the season. Walk me through that play.
No, I'm ready for every opportunity in the box that I get. Luckily, Carlos played a great ball in, and, I got on the end of it. So, can't be more thankful for, the opportunity to play today, and I think I took advantage of it, and hopefully, you get more opportunities to do so.
Tonight was truly a team effort. We saw goals from 4 of you guys. What was the chemistry like on the field?
We try to play the same way every time we step on the pitch. We have a very specific identity, and every time we come out here, we try to play a specific type of football to please our fans, and thankfully it worked out tonight, and we look forward to keep playing our football every time.
Well, congratulations. I'm going to let you enjoy this with your teammates in the 32-52.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
Thank you, Gigi. No question it's going to be a special night for Tristan Blackman. Just his second start of the season, but he cashes in his first career MLS goal. So a lot of bright positives certainly to be proud of in this 4-2 win tonight. And Steven and I actually already touched on this final point a little bit, so I'll go to you, Christopher. You didn't finish it, though, in the fashion that you wanted to. Beta even mentioned, he's like, we wanted to get this shutout tonight. 4-0 looks a lot better than the 4-2 result. But still, you know that 3 points is the end of the day what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you said what you said, that you were a little disappointed there because Bob Bradley. He's one of the best coaches of all time in Major League Soccer. And when you're up 3-0, when you're up at halftime, you want to make sure that you're doing all the little things that you can work on, because you can actually reinforce bad habits if you let down your guard. There were a few substitutions, and then again, Montreal with Remy Gard was taking some chances as well. They had nothing to lose at that point, but you want to finish out, convincingly, with conviction. And I think this was a poor situation. Just a little breakdown right here. Give credit to Urruti. Keeper comes out at the near post. He's already passed the near post and comes off your teammate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And you can see it in the guys' faces when the match ended. No one looked happy.
Right.
No.
You looked around and it didn't look like we won. And that's what you love. And yeah, we're in first place. Everything's going well. We're scoring the most goals. We're giving up the least amount of goals defensively. But guys look so upset, and that's what you want. Heads were down.
As a defender at halftime, your mind is like, you don't want to give up a goal.
No,
right? Even
absolutely
if it's 3-0, right?
And this is where it's tough to be a sub because you're coming into a game that's 4-0, and you want to make a positive impact. Sure. In that case, you have to make sure no goals are given. So it's tough. You want to come out, you want to show well, and you want to say, hey, how do I show well? I score a goal, get an assist. Sometimes it's, hey, don't let them back into the game.
Absolutely.
And so it's going to be tough for those guys. I'm sure Bob will have a word with them.
Well, hey, let's not let the energy come down here because we got the win.
That's strong from Beta. That's taking you in the locker room
tonight. I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, we hit another break here on the post-game show. When we come back, more discussion with these guys as we bring you back live here in the post-game show. LAFC Live Post-Game presented by Heineken. Mark Rogandino, Stephen Beitashour, Christopher Sullivan, and Max Bretos here with you at the desk on YouTubeTV. All right, now we look ahead. Big game coming up with the Portland Timbers. And I say big game for a number of reasons. Obviously, you shed a little bit of light. You said, yeah, you feel like it's a little bit of a rivalry. But Portland has been on the road for like 11, 12 games because they've been doing some upgrades to Providence Park up there in the Rose City. Now they finally get to return home. I would suspect, Beta, it's going to look kind of like what this looked like tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It'll absolutely feel like this. It'll look like this. They've been on the road for however many, 11, 12 games, and they're excited to get in front of their crowd. And, besides our fans, they have a very, very good, passionate supporters group. So one of the best in the league after ours, of course.
And the rumor, and And the rumor already is that there will be a huge contingency of black and gold supporters heading up there to Providence
I'll be
Park.
heading up there too. I ain't missing that.
And the good news is after that game, there is almost an entire month off. So you got to head to Denver, Colorado, and pick things up after the Gold Cup has gotten going. But away to Colorado, away to Sporting Kansas City, a team that you already beat earlier this year, and then finally back home on July the 6th with a home date here at the bank against the Vancouver Whitecaps. Christopher, you said earlier in some of your comments, you were talking about a true number 10 here in Major League Soccer, and one of the names you mentioned was Diego Valeri. Certainly, he is the engine when you talk about this Portland Timbers team. When he's playing well, they usually play well.
Special player. Valeri, exquisite. And you think of Barros Esquiloto when he played, and even though he was older and he came from Boca Juniors, Valeri has that. You know, he's got character. He's got the ability, the cachet, too, on the field to be able to deliver and paint the field. And he's got this drive, much like Piatti. They're similar, the two of them. He's got a drive to put himself in positions 3/4 of the field to goal. So he's one to watch out for. I mean, if you're playing in that one, obviously you know him very well.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the league. You know, just recently named MVP of the league because he does it all: assists, goals, his vision on the field.
Leader though too, right?
Really is, really is. One of the most difficult players. Piatti as well. One of the most difficult players to go against.
One thing I'll ask you, Piatti tonight. I mean, he's coming back after a long period without playing. You see Lodero, the same type of player, and then you see Valeri. Valeri never quits in a game. No matter, some number 10s you see, if it's not their game, they're wearing.
We want names.
They're wearing the tuxedo. No, they're wearing the tuxedo. They're like, no, I'm out of here. Ciao. You know, he's one of the ones that plays to the last minute, right?
Yeah, he's got a little bite to him as well. So you sense it. He's not one of those guys. I think Piatti sometimes drifts and cheats a little bit, lets you go forward, and then that's when he punishes you.
Sure.
And
Valeri will put in the work.
Let's not forget Piatti coming back from injury. He had missed 10 games for Montreal, a substitute a week ago. He gets in the starting lineup tonight. Let's go back downstairs, and this time we get some post-game comments from head coach Bob Bradley.
Late coming in here. Talk about the first half. I thought the energy was good. I think we still found good ways to go forward, scored some good goals, started the game in a good way, pushed up the field, putting pressure on them. Still for the game, there's advantages where our final plays still need to get better. I think I think that's always something that even the best teams look at, that when you create a lot of chances, even when you score a lot of goals, you think about all the chances where you don't do well enough. And so that's certainly something that we see, and something that we just continue to try to get right. You know, the final decision, is it right to shoot? Is it the right time to slip a pass? Do you play it in the air? Do you play it on the ground? That kind of thing is still, obviously, the way football works these days. In many of those moments, the margin in the offside is really tight. You know, if you think back even to the goal that was taken away against Dallas, you know, Dio's inches offsides. Tonight, the one that was taken away with Carlos, it's I don't know if it's inches or a foot or whatever, but, you know, the timing of those plays, the execution of those plays become important. And so, you know, we certainly do pretty well at it, and we certainly create and score a lot of good goals, but that's still something that I think about sometimes, where we just have to keep trying to improve. The end of the game, you know, we've had such a good way this year. We've not given up goals late. We've had good concentration. We've played till the end of matches, and today we didn't. And I wasn't happy with our subs tonight. I don't think when they came on the field, they helped what we need and brought what we needed. At the end of the game, the choice of passes, the timing of passes, to play the kind of football that we want, the pass has to go to the right guy at the right time. And if you start looking around the field and thinking, maybe I'm going to, you know, I'd rather pass to this guy than that guy, or let me see if I can take an extra few touches, man, that destroys the game at that point. That's not the way you play football. So, yeah, so I wasn't too happy about some of that stuff. And I have high standards with these guys. So it's not about yelling after a game like that. It's just about making sure they understand that we certainly, at the end of the game, lost our way a little bit. And the little things that are important to play good football for 90 minutes got away from us. Let me mention Tristan Blackman, right? Because tonight was an important night for him. Tristan has got talent. We know it. That's why we keep trying and trying and trying. And yet we've not been able to get him to really just play without any fear, to play and make plays and go for it. And, you know, we talk to him and show him over and over a guy like Sergio Ramos and say, look, you don't get to be Sergio Ramos if you're always afraid of making a mistake. You become Sergio Ramos when you are fearless, when you are a warrior, when you step on the field and you step up and you make plays. And so, look, it's not to now think that just because you talk like that a young kid from Las Vegas and a young kid from University of Pacific entering all of a sudden is jumping up to Sergio Ramos. That's the top, right? But it's a really good example of a guy that, man, if you go by the book, Sergio Ramos isn't by the book, all right? He does things sometimes where you know it's not the exact way to make a play, but he makes up for it by being aggressive and fearless and and I would take guys like that on my team any day of the week, and so we want players like that. And tonight, Tristan played more like that. That was awesome.
So, some insightful post-game comments there from Bob Bradley, head coach.
If he wants to be Sergio Ramos, he needs to get more tats.
Well, not only that, I mean, as he just said, Tristan Blackman, all the way up to Sergio Ramos. What about this guy right in there? You know, hey, come on, 10 years, 20,000 minutes.
I don't get enough yellow and red cards.
35 plus assists, but I digressed.
We had it. You were going to throw it in there. I was waiting for that.
We are classing it up here on the post-game show here, LAFC Live post-game show presented by Heineken. As we bring Javrina Catalina from the sidelines up here to our set here at the south end of Bank of California Stadium. And, G, you've been part of an ongoing series talking about the people that help make up LAFC. We call it Faces of LAFC.
Yeah, and tonight's episode of Faces of LAFC is something that all Angelinos, I think we can all relate, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys will as well, that every house in LA is going to be somewhat divided, whether you're cheering for the Clippers or the Lakers, the Galaxy or LAFC, the Rams or the Chargers, UCLA or USC. There's going to be somewhat of a rivalry in every household.
With starting a new family, you know, I'm always kind of looking for new traditions. LAFC has really been beneficial for that. It's been remarkable just to see how much the boys care about the team, how much we've cared about the team. I think being able to invent a tradition for our family at the same time as a team is trying to invent itself in a city was just kind of a really great union.
One Christmas, he convinced his dad to buy him season tickets to the Galaxy games. So that was our team. That was the team that we had as an option. LAFC came around and JM was like, LA's getting a team. And I was just like, we have a team, what are you talking about? They don't even have players. Like, coming as a soccer fan, you're just like, you're signing up for something that you don't even know who's their player, who's their star player, because that was the Galaxy's thing. Like, they always had this key player. So that was like our rivalry in the house.
When LAFC was playing Galaxy for the first time at StubHub Center, I finally made the commitment to wear the LAFC jersey to the game and had to face the music with all of my friends, you know, fan friends that had been sitting with me for years. And Jenny held on and wore her Galaxy jersey and was so excited to see Zlatan.
And it was a great game, just on both sides. And now it came for my turn to go to the LAFC game. He's like, what jersey are you gonna wear? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna support it, and I'm gonna go in my LAFC gear. So we went to the game, and I have to say that first game, I was definitely impressed with everything.
It was so fun, and it was so energetic, and my son was just so blown away of how passionate everybody was.
The culture there is a lot different than an LA Galaxy game, and I don't want to compare, but where people were die-hard committed to something that hadn't even been established yet. They had their chance, they had everything, it just had that energy. So slowly, I just became a fan of LAFC, like they won me over.
We're the Hermans, and we're a proud LAFC family.
Wow, stirring it up.
And remember, you guys can actually catch the full feature on YouTube TV. Really exciting to see how he was able to convince his wife and say, hey, I don't think so. We're not going to Galaxy games anymore.
I think
Smart man.
I think Max Bretos and I could kind of sympathize a little bit with that. Is that correct? Is that fair to say?
A little bit. Hey, I worked for the Galaxy.
Yeah, I did
can
too.
say that.
I did too.
Got to put food on the table. But now,
but we are black and
better
we
food
are
on
black
the
and
table.
You
gold.
put better food, yeah.
We are black and
First it
gold.
was hamburgers, now it's filet mignon.
That's right. That's right. Best team in Major League Soccer. Win number 10 on the season. Home win number 7. And what a good night here at Bank of California Stadium. Before we leave you, though, here on YouTube TV, we do have one little bit of business left. You remember last week we told you about Bernard Worrell, our esteemed producer, who got married last
Alumni
week.
for life.
We also had a big week for our own Javrina Catalina.
Wow. That even made the broadcast.
She got her master's.
LB State.
From she's the 49ers from Long Beach State. Look at her posing right there.
Oh my God,
great shot
you
right
guys.
there. This is a master's, correct?
It is. It's a mess.
Let's bring in the gifts since we didn't have a chance to be there. Let's bring in the gifts. Give her a round of applause. That's right.
You guys are the best. Thanks, guys. Thanks, B.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bernard.
Oh,
Thank you.
It was all Beta. It was all Beta. He was the one who did it.
Beitashour, thank you.
You know, Javrina, I did have one question. Seeing the pictures and seeing how happy you were there, well, what was the moment? Like, what was the moment in that day that's going to be your flashball moment that's going to stick out?
Are you kidding? I think everybody knows. When you're walking down, getting your diploma, and you're like, they're not going to mess up my name, right? No. And then they mess up Catalina, which is the easiest one.
What did they say?
He said Catalini.
Well, wait. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check it. Roll tape.
Javrina Catalina Separai.
Woo!
Javrina Catalina Separai.
Oh, he corrected himself. He corrected himself.
Totally corrected himself.
So we present to you the only one of us, I think, that has a master's, right? Anybody else got a master's up here? Javrina Catalini.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. I really do appreciate it.
You rock.
Guys.
We are proud of you, G. You're a
Thank you.
huge
Muchas
piece of our
gracias.
team.
De veras, de todo corazón, muchas
Bien
gracias.
hecho, mi querida Javrina Catalina.
That's right.
Catalina,
that's right.
Catalini, that's going to be the new one.
Obviously, a huge thanks to this guy, Stephen Beitashour. We'd love to see him out on the field, but we love him stopping by and being part of the analysis here on both the halftime and the postgame. And finally, our other favorite Aztec, we bring him back in the fold right here, Christopher Sullivan.
Great facha.
It seemed like you had a good time as usual.
Great time as usual. Great company and the best crew in the U.S.
Chance of Beitashour, which means it's time to
they're
wrap.
saying Bretos.
Yeah, right. It means it's time to wrap things up here on YouTube TV. What a night! On behalf of Beta, Sully, Maxi, Gigi, I'm Rogo, and the rest of our crew. 4-2 is your final against the Montreal Impact. A 10th win on the season. It's on to Portland in search of number 11. We had a great time. Hope you did too. Joining us here on YouTube TV. The best place to get all your content for the black and gold. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody. Good night.